Well, hi y'all are. It's Jimmy, your native Flor-xan, and today I got something I want to do with some chuck roast. I've been looking at the internet and I see where people are taking and making poor man's burnt ends, or they're cooking them up like brisket and so on and so forth, which I've done in the past. But my favorite thing to do with a chuck roast is to smoke it up on the pit, cook it through, and then bag it up, put it in the freezer for one of our quick weekday meals. So hang in there and let me show you one of them that we do. Alright folks, what I got here is two chuck roasts that I picked up at Sam's. These are Angus chuck roast. I think between the two of them they were almost 5 pounds. And what we're going to do is just season them up. Not going to go real heavy with it because the preparation that we're going to do on how we're going to eat these is going to add more flavor to it. But I'm not going to trim anything out. I want to leave everything as it is. Like normal and other stuff that I showed, I like to rub it with a little olive oil, and then we're going to hit it with our True Texas sweet and heat seasoning, and then we're also going to hit it with some of my house seasoning, which is again equal parts salt, black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. Alright, so I'm gonna flip these over, get this other side seasoned up, and then we'll get them out there on the pit. Alright folks, got the pit on 250. Let's go grab our meat and get her going. Alright folks, just gonna put these on this one end here. We're gonna let them run for a couple of hours. Check them for temp. Now I'm not going to go to a high temp of like 210 or anything like you would with a brisket, but we're going to cook these maybe to about 185 just to make sure they're cooked through, because again how we're going to prep this in the future is another cooking process, so we don't need to cook them till they're fall apart tender. We just want them cooked through so that when we cook them with the next step that they do tender up and get to consistency that we want. Alright folks, so our meat's been going for a little bit. Oh yeah, looking good. I'm just gonna kind of flip it over. Still feeling pretty rare, but again I knew we're going to be cooking this for a little bit, so we'll continue to let it run. And like I said, we're going to look for an internal about 185 or so, and then we'll pull it off, let it cool, and go from there. Alright folks, so we're going to check them out. We're starting to get a little bark to them, a little more than what I want for what I'm doing with them. So they're well past done. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull them. I don't want them taking on getting bark like a brisket or anything. So we're just gonna pan them up, let them rest, let them cool. And then take them from there. All right folks, so we got it in our pan. I'm just gonna leave it open right there. Let it kind of vent. We're just going to let these cool all the way down, and then I'll take and portion them up, put them in freezer bags. Alright folks, so our meat is cooled, and what I'm going to do, the idea is I want to use these to cook stews with, and so all I'm going to do is cut them up into smaller pieces. I'll portion them up. I think we can probably get about 4 meals out of these two, and then we'll bag them up and put them in the freezer. So just to show you why I do this, you can see that nice smoke ring on both sides of this, which is going to add some great flavor in our stews that we make. Alright folks, so here it is. We got it all cut up, cut into small enough chunks where they can fit on a spoon. So now I'm just going to portion this out into different meals and bag it up and seal it and freeze it. I think I might hold back some of this and go ahead and make a stew. Maybe even make it in the junior can cooker. Alright folks, so we got it bagged up, wound up with, it was 3 16-ounce portions, which should be plenty for me and the wife. So I got 2 bags of that, and this is the pan that's left over that we're going to go ahead and make us a stew out of. Alright, so I got my junior can cooker here, and basically what we're going to do is go ahead and put our meat down in the pot. Alright, so next I got some small golden baby potatoes that I took and just quartered up. We're going to pitch them off in there. Then I got some small baby carrots that I just took and give them a little rough chop. And then I got, these are them sweet bell peppers. Them little small ones. I took and cut them up. I got some baby bellas. I'm probably not going to use this whole thing, probably use about half of it. And then I got half of a large chopped onion, or half of a large onion that I chopped. Almost forgot, you got to add that packet of onion soup mix. And then I got a quart of some lower sodium beef broth. Alright, and then lastly I'm going to go ahead and add 1 Dos Equis to it. If you hadn't noticed, I like cooking with beer. Now this ain't going to fully cover everything, but as it cooks, that stuff is going to reduce down, and we're going to have plenty of liquid here in order to make us a little bit of a gravy to go with the stew. Now I'm going to run this on a higher flame, similar like we did when we cooked the barbacoa. We start seeing steam, then we'll turn that down to a low flame, just enough in order to keep that steam going. While that flame's coming up, we're going to give this a little bit of a stir, just to kind of spread everything out in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, it's probably about a good tablespoon of my house seasoning. I'm going to get about a tablespoon of W sauce, Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put that in there, and then 1 more. Next we're going to add some of my datil pepper sauce, just to give it a little kick. Then we're going to add good, I don't know, 1.5 tablespoons of garlic. Stir that around in there. Let it start getting happy. Put the lid back on it. Let's let it run. And I almost forgot, I wanted to add a can of Rotel to this. Stir that around. Let it run. It's starting to boil, so we're probably going to have to cut that heat down here shortly. Keep an eye on it. Again, once we start getting steam, yeah, we got steam. Let's turn that heat down a little bit. These can cookers work great, but they don't recommend using a bunch of high heat with them. Once they start steaming a little bit, turn it down to a low flame. You want just enough to keep that steam just puffing out of that hole every now and then. Alright folks, so this has been going for about a good half an hour or so. You can see how everything is kind of blended real well, cooked down. I took a fork and checked potatoes, and they are fork tender, so are the carrots. And so I think we're nearing being done. Meat's nice and tender. So the last thing I'm gonna do, and you can kind of see how much juice we have in here. Now, if you recall, we didn't have everything covered. Everything is done cooked down into that. But to thicken this up, I'm gonna add a couple of packs of low sodium or lower sodium brown gravy mix, if I can get it out of the packet here. Add that in there, stir it around. while it's good and hot. And let's see how well it thickens up. If it's not as thick as we want it, we can always add a little cornstarch slurry to it. Now I still got my fire going down below. Just gonna add this in there, let it run for a little bit, and then we'll check it. See how well it's thickened up. Alright, so we've let it go about 15 minutes, and you can see it's not quite thick as I want it, but I don't want to keep cooking the crap out of it. So I got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm going to take a little bit of cold water. I'm just going to mix this up real good and make a slurry. When you hear me talk about cornstarch slurry, that's what this is. And this will help tighten that up, hopefully to the consistency that we want. I guess I could have picked a bowl that wasn't so noisy, but just want to whisk that up real good. Make sure there's no clumps. Then we're going to take and add that in there. And stir it around while it's good hot. And instantly you can see it start thickening up. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this heat off, stir this up now. Now we got more of that gravy consistency that I was looking for. So I'm gonna keep stirring this a little bit, and then I'm gonna take this out of the pot and show it to you here shortly. Alright folks, so I got it bowled up. I've had it sitting here for about 15 minutes cooling. And so you can see it's thickened up. As it cools on down, it'll just get thicker, and by tomorrow this will be really, really thick when you reheat it. But let's go ahead and give her a taste. Meat and a carrot. Oh yeah, that's good. The meat's nice and tender. Try that tater there. Man, that's good. That's really good. So, but again, you know, cooking the meat ahead of time, putting it in the freezer, all the vegetables, you could cut them up the night before, have them sitting in the fridge, and then when you get home, even if you don't have a junior can cooker like what I got, if you got an Instapot or just a regular old pot, total time on this from the time we got everything in the pot, got it going, and then even taking it out, and I've let it sit here 15 minutes cooling, we've got a total of an hour in this. So it's not the quickest meal, but it's quick enough meal for during the week. The key is having that meat cooked ahead of time and having it ready to go, maybe thaw it out the night before. Again, prep all your vegetables the night before, that way when you get home from work, throw it all in a pot, let it run, and it'll be ready for you. So with fall coming on, if you're a stew eater like me, this is a good recipe to try, so I hope you try it. Thanks again to all the subscribers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one.